Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Indie Unplugged. I am your man, B. Vaughan. And today we got something a little different. Y'all usually know us for doing music and all that stuff. But tonight we're going to get into something just a little bit different. But I'm excited because this is something that is near and dear to my heart that we're going to get into tonight. But today's guest, ladies and gentlemen, is Harold Outley. He is an actor, writer, producer, and spoken word artist whose career spans film, television, stage, and poetry. Originally from Detroit and now based here in Atlanta, over the years, he's built an impressive career across film, television, and of course, stage once again, appearing in projects like Sinful Lies, Men Pray Too, Dreamers, and TV One's Fatal Attraction, and many more. Beyond the screen, Harold has spent more than 20 years captivating audiences as a poet and as a performer, culminating in his sold-out one-man show, From the D to the A, The Journey. As a writer, producer, and actor on his latest project, Trapped Outside, Harold has brought a deeply personal vision to a psychological thriller that tackles themes of abuse, power, trauma, struggle, and consequence. The film has generated significant buzz within the independent film community and has gained attention very quickly after its release on streaming platforms. Today, we are going to go beyond the credits and talking about the journey from Detroit to Atlanta, from poetry stage to movie sets, from independent creator to filmmaker, and what it really takes to build a career in entertainment on your own terms. So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, please give a warm welcome to my man, Harold Outley.
What up, Joe?
What up, Joe? What's good, brother?
I'm good. How you feeling?
Not bad. I'm good. I'm good, brother.
It's good to be here.
I'm good. Welcome, man, to the Indie Unplugged.
Thank you
And
for having me.
shout out to Carisha for making this happen.
For sure, Carisha the Diva.
Carisha the Diva.
She is amazing.
So I had the pleasure of meeting Carisha for the first time a couple of weeks ago during Music Biz Week. There was an event at Club 700
Okay.
or Studio 700, and she was there. She was one of the she was the moderator for the panel, and she had been following us, and I had been following her for some time, but we never really connected face to face.
Okay.
And I walked up to him and was like, "Hey, you don't know me, but I know you." Once we she was like, "Hey, it was," and so yeah, shout out to Carisha the Diva. Good luck on the interview. So man, let's jump right into it, brother.
And let's go and get it.
So, what was your upbringing like, man? And what experiences shaped the man and storyteller that you are today?
Well, I'm from the west side of Detroit. Dexter Davidson, to be exact. Grew up single parent home. The second oldest of three children. My environment was typically what it would be in the 80s and the 90s growing up in Detroit. You know, you had the violence, you had the drugs, but when you were a kid, you don't really know. You just
That's right.
outside with your friends. But then when you leave and come back, you're like, oh, wow. It really was something. You know, so everything that's about me, Detroit is not on me, it's in me. So no matter where I go or what I do, they gonna know where I'm from. Always.
So what was it like growing up in Detroit? I mean, what kind of gravitated you towards being a poet? Because I think I heard that you were a poet first.
Yes, I had initially started, my earliest writing memory was at 10 years old. You know, we had the old school green handwriting paper. So
They don't know about that.
It's before your time.
Yeah. It's for their time.
Yeah, I'm writing on the paper, so that's where I developed my love for writing. But it wasn't until my senior year in high school where I had to take a class in order to graduate because I had failed in the 9th grade. I failed a class.
Right.
So the only class that I could take was a creative writing class. And that was the last hour of the day. You know, as a senior, you know, you get out early. I had to stay all day. But this class opened up a different chamber in my brain. And I have to, you know, give that teacher all the credit because she opened it up. I liked to write, but I didn't know what I was doing. You know, I thought I was a little rapper, which I was not. But that class really sparked it. That urge to put my thoughts on paper. And that's where it began. Yeah. And because my love of reading and every time I would read books, I could visualize what I was reading. So that's how I write. So that's how I write. And I write the same way. I write to where I want who's ever listening, seeing, whatever, I want them to be able to visualize it because it resonates more if you can see it, at least in my opinion.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of what makes it connected, right? Is when you can start to visualize and go, oh, I can see how this really plays out. Like when I'm doing things, I see things even when I'm making music, I see it as like in movies. Like that's how I kind of see it, right? I like the 3-act structure. And so I'm like, oh yeah. So, the first part of the song is this, and then, I got, the middle part, act 2, and then the third and the culminating event and all that stuff. And they're like, oh, but when you're writing, it's kind of the same visual aspect.
Yeah, poetry is the same. And I think with me, my style of writing poetry was, of course, I consider myself a poetic storyteller because I had to tell a story. And we go start at a place, we go here, then we go here. So that same structure applies. I just did it in a poetic form. And, Detroit, when I got older, didn't really have a huge poetry scene, but what it had, I just jumped out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So how did growing up there shape you to being who you are today? What was it about the environment of Detroit that instilled into you to say, you know what, it shaped me now into the man that I am today?
Coming from Detroit, it's just a different grind. It's a grit. You're self-motivated. I'm gonna use the term hustler loosely, not in the traditional sense, but like a go-getter. Like I'm gonna go and figure this out. However I got to get it. You go tell me no over here. Okay, that's fine. I ain't got it over here. I'm gonna figure it out. And that's just the energy in the city. And then you have that part. You have the style, the lingo, and all of that. But at its core, that grind and that grit, that never say never. I'm about to go and get it attitude. That is what shaped me more than anything else. And then never forgetting where I come from, because I know from whence I came.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes when you're growing up in a single parent home, there's some challenges that you face, right? I mean, pop's not in the home. I grew up in a single parent home until I was about 14, and then my mom met some dude, all right, and they got married, and then he joined the military, and we became military people, but. It's kind of tough, right? Kind of going through that with your moms
because she battled her own demons, right? And she worked at General Motors for 30 years. She battled her own demons, but she always made sure she kept a roof over her head, and she still ruled with an iron fist. So she understood the environment that we lived in, and she was determined not to let us fall by the wayside or go down the paths of some of our friends, even though, I still found my way over to that side.
Yeah.
But then, fortunately, the Lord, he kept me. So I
for sure.
came back.
Yeah, for sure.
So it definitely had its struggles. I remember my mother, when I graduated high school, the day I was leaving to go to college, she just made sure I had a little trunk to put my clothes in, and she was out of town.
She was like,
because by that time I was ready to go. My mom was hard on me, very hard on me. So I mean, I understand it, but I was ready to go.
Yeah.
But she did exactly what was needed for me. I needed that.
Yeah. I don't think sometimes people realize that sometimes the environment that you're in really shapes who you become. Because my mom was the same. She was the same way. I mean, single parent. She worked, various different jobs. One time I remember my mom working at, she was the only, so I'm originally from Virginia, but she was the only, in our town, the only female, like, construction worker using I don't know if, I think they still do it now. When they lay the asphalt on the road with the stick, with the roller.
Oh.
She was the one driving that.
Oh, wow.
And I seen her. She was like, you going to come with me to work one day, see what I do. And I'm watching her drive a steamroller truck over the asphalt. I'm like, yo. But moms did any and everything she could
Mm-hmm.
to keep a roof over our head, to keep us safe, because it's hard for a woman who's a single parent,
And not only that, she encouraged us, to do extracurricular activities at school. Because I'm not gonna lie, playing in the band, running track, and singing in the choir kept me coming to school. Outside of my fear of her. Outside of that, I mean, I came to school just because I wanted to do that, but I still had to go to class.
Yeah.
So, most of us being in band saved a lot of us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Music was the first love.
Music is the first love.
The first love.
Yeah.
The writing and poetry, that was the gift that he gave me. But the music was the first love, playing that tuba.
Oh, so that's what your instrument was too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was never in band. So,
Hey,
but I was in choir though. I was in there. Me. I was in, for sure.
listen, that's where all the girls are.
Well, I was a nerd. Look, people know they know they watched the show before. I was a nerd, so the girls ain't really be like. I had the pipes though, but the girls ain't really be like, nah, you're a nerd looking dude.
I mean, I don't think I was a popular guy. I might have been like in the middle towards the bottom, but being within the band, I was cool because I was the section leader.
Right.
So that was, so, you get a little, they know you from that, but I wasn't like athlete cool.
I was
Even
not.
running track.
I ran track too.
Yeah, I still wasn't on a football team. So
ran track, was on JRTC, was in choir, played football, I played basketball, I wrestled.
Oh, see, you did
But they ain't lead to no girls though. None of that led to girls though. You know what I'm saying?
Man, the
like
girls
that.
was in the choir though. It was girls in the band too.
Yeah.
Definitely girls in the band. But the choir? All the sopranos and altos?
None.
Oh.
And think I could go tenor and bass. And tenor, bass, baritone.
Oh man, you should have had it made.
No.
Man.
I told I was a nerd looking dude. So they were like, nah. Now we good. We going for the bad boy over there. We going not Mr. Goody Two Shoes over here.
They always went for the bad boy.
Because I was scared of moms. Like moms came up to school one day. I'm in there acting up, cutting up. Mom's in the back. I'm cutting up. She watching me. And she like, Brian? And I'm like, turn around. I saw moms. I was like, ah! Moms didn't play. So,
listen,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
my mother had this thing she called the slamming wall. She would just pop up at the school, and people would know she was there, and they'll come and find me, like, your mama here. And when she would come up to that school and talk to one of my teachers, and I was clowning. We had to go, and it's hard to go down the steps. And that wall, she would slam me into the wall. She would call it the slamming wall. But I got hip to it after a couple times.
Exactly.
So I would take off running.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I ain't going up against that slamming wall. Not today, player. Oh no. But man, yeah. So you spent more than 20 years as a spoken word artist.
Yes.
Do you think Harold the poet is the foundation for Harold the actor and filmmaker?
Absolutely. Because my first time getting on stage was in 2000. I was still in Detroit.
Okay.
And that was me just kind of let me see if I can get in front of people and say this little poem. So, they laughed at me the first time, but it's okay. I didn't go back for 2 years, but when I went back, I was ready. So it definitely shaped everything. Because it gave me the is one thing when you write these poems, you put all your feelings on the paper, you memorize it, you prepare it, then you go in front of the people.
Mm-hmm.
And two things happen. You see people listening, and then they react. I was like, oh, okay, I'm doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
If I can get their ear, if I can get them to listen, because if they listen, I know they like, okay. And then, depending on what I may say, they react. I'm like, okay, I got them. That was very encouraging. Very encouraging.
Mm-hmm. So what was going on in those 2 years?
I was trying to get better. I was writing more poems, practicing. I was like standing in front of the mirror and, say, because I think it was just nervousness. and they didn't know me. I wasn't part of the, the thing. So during the 2 years, I was like, when I go back, I ain't gonna be scared this time. And I gave it to him. I can say I did what I was supposed to do, and the people who probably was there 2 years ago probably never saw me before. So that was a plus for me. Because I was like, them people ain't probably here. So I just went in and I wasn't scared.
Yeah, that's what's up. Because, a lot of times people get that, especially if that was the first time doing it in front of a crowd and kind of really getting the feeling and working it out. I remember a situation where, and I told this before, I remember a situation where there's a producer that, a friend of mine back in St. Louis, Grammy Award-winning producer, that one of my best friends, and I went to him and I was like, yo, I need you to listen to my beats. This is kind of like when I first was really like producing, listen to my beats. And he's listening to it, he's dying laughing, bro. He's cracking. He over there dying, bro. He's like, my boy got tears. He got tears in his eyes. Like, he's like, yo, He's like, yo, wait, what's going on? And I was like, man, I never played beats with him after that again, though. Until like years later. And then I eventually told him. He was like, man, I don't even remember none of that. I was like, yeah, bro. I said, but it was motivation. It was motivation because I was like, yo, this is my homie. He's laughing at me, or at least laughing at the beats. I need to get better at making beats then. So when you listen to him,
said they was wrong. That they was.
No, he was just laughing.
Oh, that's even worse.
He didn't get no critique. He was like, hey, bro, you need to change up here. You need to add some different instrumentation here. You need to, maybe, think about your 8-bar loop and how you feed into it. And then, how to build up and to change up. Maybe you need to drop some things and go into the hook a little differently. And nothing. It was literally straight laughter, bro, the entire time. But it was. But anyway, I'm sure for the same for you, it was a moment that said, you know what? I'm coming back and y'all gonna regret. I don't want to say regret it, but
I mean, but that has been a reoccurrence in different scenarios throughout my journey, with the poetry, moving to Atlanta and getting on the scene here. It was the same thing. If you go into an open mic, they don't know who you are. You come and you sign your name on the list and you get there early. You're like, okay, I'm number 3 on the list. It's not how it works. They go jump around.
Exactly.
And because if they don't know who you are, and I'm there for like 3.5, 4 hours, and I'm like third, second to last. Now I'm angry because I done sat here all night. I'm heated. So the only recourse I had was to take that anger and energy that I had and put it in a performance on the stage. And that's what I did. And the crowd applauded at the end. They didn't know who I was, but I had waited for so long. And I'm thinking, had I went up earlier, I might not have had that vigor that I had at the end of the night because I was tired and I was angry. And I worked the midnight shift, so I waited all night just to get on the mic. But
if y'all don't know in Atlanta, like when you do, and it may not just be in Atlanta, but when you do open mics, man, there's like 10 people on the roster, maybe more on the roster.
Yeah.
And you got to be there all night. Somebody may not show up and they're like, hey, we need you to go on now. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. Wait, hold up.
But the thing that I didn't understand and I didn't know was, depending on who the host is, one of their poet friends will come in and they ain't got to sign the list. They'll be like, well, you come on up and then you come on up. And, I'm like, but I know now, but that's just kind of how, and I think it's still kind of like that depending on who shows you go to. But at that Apache Cafe, when I went for the first time,
it had to be Apache.
It was Apache.
Yeah.
I said, oh, no. And it took me a while to go back there. It did. And I didn't wait 2 years. But I did go back. I was like, I got to go back and do it again because I did like the vibe. I'll go on a different night when maybe somebody else is hosting. And I just kind of learned the scene. And I just immersed myself from like 2013, I would say to 19. It was nonstop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember being at Apache one night. They were having some music panels events. They were doing something at Apache, and I'm standing by the bar, because I like to stand when I'm at events and kind of walk around the network. And there's a young lady standing next to me, and so I'm standing there, and she's like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Hey, how you doing? No, pleasure to meet you." I didn't even ask her what her name was. Hey, okay, good. And so we're sitting there. I'm really not paying her any attention. She's just standing there, and by herself. And all of a sudden, the host goes, "All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a special guest in the building tonight. Let's give it up for 7th Streeter." And she literally leaves from where she is next to me and goes up there. And I'm like, that was 7th Street. I didn't even know that. That was great.
I mean, cause she chilling.
She chilling.
See, I like that kind of attitude.
Me too.
Though. Yeah,
Me too.
You just in the space and you came there to do what you came to do.
Yes.
It wasn't like, hey, do you know who I am type vibe.
Exactly. I was like, hey, nice to meet you. Hey, how you doing? Okay, cool. We didn't exchange names or anything. And just next thing I know, they like, yeah, come on up. I'm like, I didn't realize that was 7th Street. But man, so you talked about, of course, your show, your one-man show, From the D to the A, The Journey. And of course, it was a sold-out success. Mm-hmm. I'm interested in knowing, what was the most vulnerable story you had to tell during that performance, and what did you learn about yourself from sharing that?
Wow. First of all, that is a magnificent question. Wow. So I think there were it was 2 stories. One was a story that I told, because in between these poems and my monologues, I'm giving background to how these particular poems came about.
Okay.
And then there's a monologue that I did where I'm telling the story about the POV from an abuser. Mm. And in this monologue, it starts off as him in real time, and then he reverts back to as a child. And I have to switch my tone and my voice. That was one of the hardest stories, because I watched my mother go through that when I was very, very young, and to share that story publicly and how it affected me, even to this day, how I feel about domestic violence. That was extremely hard. Mm-hmm. And the other story was the circumstances with me knowing I had to leave Detroit, because I was just headed down a wrong path and I needed to leave. And what I learned about myself is I learned that I had the ability to be vulnerable in front of so many people, because I wouldn't have got in depth and shared that unless had I not done that show. But that was the purpose behind it. I wanted to be vulnerable. I wanted for people to see me in a way that they had never seen before. And people found out some things about me that they did not know. Mm. Yeah. Being able to be that vulnerable, because it's scary. But as an artist, I believe if you're vulnerable, that makes you more relatable, and people are more drawn into you. And people were like, yo, I didn't know you. And the killer, one of my guys, shout out to Sid J, that Monday he called me, nobody knew during the months leading up to it that I was going through a divorce, right? I went through a divorce, I had moved and everything, but I was still rehearsing. I had moved and doing all the things. And he was like, so you mean to tell me you was going through all that and you still came and put on this show? And my response to him was, what else was I gonna do? Mm-hmm. So all of these, life was happening. But those 2 stories, that was extremely hard. And at the end, I know I had tears. I heard people crying.
I'm sure.
I literally heard people sniffling. So that was the whole thing.
Yeah, because those types of stories bring a certain level of connectedness.
Yes.
That people can relate to. Mm-hmm. And they can see somebody that is being successful share those stories and go, I can relate to that. I kind of went through something similar to that. So it automatically draws them into your world.
Yes.
And they're like, I feel a certain level of connectivity to you as a creator, as an artist, as a poet. And now that story man, touched me in a way that I probably didn't even think, or brought up things that I didn't even think about.
Yeah.
You know, and so I mean, I've shared on this platform before that my mom was on drugs.
Mine too.
Yeah, so I'm single parent. Mom was on drugs.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, you growing up in the hood, I guess, right?
Right.
Something like I grew up in like a it wasn't like apartments. It was like I want to say it wasn't condos, of course, but it was like an apartment, 2-story apartment. And they were all connected. And then some over here, and then some over here. What was the place called? Thomas Rolfe Court, I think. Y'all from Hopewell, y'all know. I mean, ain't that many people from there, but that was the kind of the place I grew up in. Had a little basketball court right in the center, so that all the community people can come into the center thing. But yeah, my mom was on drugs. So when I hear people talk about it, and matter of fact, that's a short story that I want to do. Yeah, I got a short story idea for that. But anyway, and so when I hear people talk about it, I'm like, yeah, man, like. But I know what my mom went through to get off of it.
Yes.
To get off of it. And then when she relapsed, I saw it. And I saw the impact on her and how it changed her life, completely, drastically. And as a 14-year-old kid, I don't know what's going on. 13, 14, I don't know what's going on. And so music for me, and I don't know if that was the same for you, for me, music was how I escaped. I found myself in headphones all the time, singing everywhere I went. That's why I wanted to go to choir all the time. And so when you're facing a situation with that, you face life completely differently.
That's true.
So
for me, it was music, it was band, and it was writing. Like I remember we would go to the mall and steal, get chased by the police, but then I would go home and I would be writing in my little book.
Yeah.
Like literally living 2 different lives in high school. And my friends didn't know. It was just, I was just going right.
Mm-hmm.
Just stuff. Just stuff. You don't even
just stuff as a young person growing up that you do.
Yeah.
That you don't even realize you're like.
Listening to music, like trying to make mixtapes, trying to record and let it play and then flip it over. Like stuff like that,
Yes,
music still to this day is probably the best medicine. Like there's nothing I have to have music all the time, except when I sleep. Outside of that,
I used to sleep with music.
Yeah, I need rain sounds now.
I see. I sleep. I sleep with like sounds of like a box. Like you hear this. Y'all won't hear this fan, but this fan right here. I got to sleep with like a sound of a fan or something.
It has to have a sound, yeah.
Yeah. I'm the same.
Growing up, it was.
How old
music.
Are you?
I'm 50.
I'm 51.
I'll be 51 at the end of the month.
Hey, that's what's up. Hey, that's right. The 50 club, baby.
Yeah,
So it's like, when you get older, you got to be like, man, I need to block off these sounds and these noises.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel that. I feel that. So for you, so most actors usually wait for opportunities, right? You decided to write and help and create your own opportunities with Trapped Outside. At what point did you realize that waiting for the industry just wasn't enough?
Well, even before Trapped Outside, my very first opportunity came from someone seeing me do poetry and was like, hey,
dope.
Do you want to be in this play? It was for colored girls. And I was like, I'm not an actor, just a poet. She's like, hey, do you want to be in this play? I was like, ma'am, you didn't hear me. I said, I'm not an actor. She said, you about to be in this play. And I remember going to the rehearsal for the first time, and that's when it caught me. I literally fell in love with the process with them, going over the lines, and they doing the scene work, and they'll do it again, but then they'll do it a different way. I was hooked. So now I'm like, how do I get into this thing? So for about 2.5 years, I was just doing background work. I started little websites, and I would submit my name because I just wanted to go and see what they did. Sometimes I get in the scene, sometimes I don't. But I wanted to go and look. And during that time, classes, extra work, and it slowly progressed. when you fast forward to Trapped Outside, that was a situation where, shout out to my producing partner, Sonic D. She was the person who came to me and was like, hey, I got an idea, but I don't write. You write. So she had a book. And she was like, can you write a script for a movie off this book? I was like, yeah. I didn't know nothing about writing a script.
But I can do it though.
Like I tried writing a script for one of my poems. So she told me the software to use. So I just went out of town for a week and I brought my food and I brought my laptop and I learned that software. Now I didn't finish the script in a week, but I learned how to use it. Fast forward, come back around, she like, listen, I want to do this movie. I'm like, okay, but you got to write it. I said, again, another one? So Trapped Outside was born then. And when you speak of creating opportunities for yourself, we were there was another production company that wanted to do the film. And I've shared this story once before. But they didn't want me to play the leading man in the movie. Shawnee is my friend. It hurt her to have to tell me that. So I said, me wanting to get the film made, I was like, you know what? That's fine. I'm writing it. I'll just play the best friend. They didn't necessarily want me as the best friend as well.
Dang.
But they wanted the script though.
That's right.
They wanted the script, so if she would have made that concession to do this, they would have took control of it over it, and the movie that eventually came out, it wouldn't have been the same film.
Yeah.
So we left. She left. She was like, "I'm gone." I said, I don't care what happened. I'm riding with you. But we still had this script, and I kept writing it. So we shot it. We finally got shout out to First Deals Films. He believed. And I said, I'm going to keep writing it. We shot it in December of last year.
Okay.
And shout out to the cast and the crew. It was believing in yourself, not giving up, and still creating an opportunity, not just for us as producers, but for other people as well. Being able to bring on a crew that we wanted, being able to call talent, actors and actresses we know, but like, hey, do y'all want to come and rock with us?
Right.
We didn't have a casting call. It was just a hope and a prayer. You know what I'm saying? And relationships.
Hey, if you ever do another movie, I'll be there. You know what I'm saying? I'll be in the background, just like, I'll do whatever.
But while you talking though,
nah,
we're definitely gonna need some
facts.
we're definitely gonna need some music. So please submit some music.
We got music.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got that.
So Trapped Outside, when it came out, it was so the reaction was so crazy. We got green lit for the second one in 7 days. So wow. I had already kind of had my notes, kind of building the story in its infant stages. Because I'm thinking, all right, hopefully we can do it in 27. Nah, B. I was like, what? It's only been 7 days. So from about, March 6th, I started. And I finished the first version on May 28th. So we not only did we create the opportunity, we believed in ourselves. We had somebody believe in us. We was able to provide opportunities for others.
Right.
And now it's then blossomed into something else.
Right.
So not only are we greenlit for the sequel, we already greenlit for a third film.
Oh.
So
see, that's how it works though.
It just takes somebody to believe. And
that's exactly what it takes. Somebody to believe in you, in your story, in your journey, to say, you know what? Let's do this. Let's make this happen.
You know how many no's I've gotten?
Nigga, you know how many no's be?
Man, I get told no so much. Being told no is a part of the game. I get told no so much, but then it makes you appreciate the yeses.
That's right.
And then it only takes that one yes, and your whole life can change. Just like getting a hit record. That one hit record it can change your life. Sunshine Anderson to this day is still performing. Heard it all before.
So I used to do artist management.
Okay.
And so there was an artist that I was managing named Jay West. And when I first started managing Jay West, I was like, we had this huge meeting. Was like, what do you want to do? Blah, blah, blah. Cool. His very first performance gig that I got him was at the Charlotte Hornets in North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
So we go up there.
Okay.
Right? We go up there, basketball people, everything. And so we're up in the VIP lounge because he's one of the artists. It was him. It was what's the name of it? I can't remember the name of I want to say Cootie High, but I don't think that was the name of the group. Ruffins was there.
Okay.
So David was there. Shy was there. And David already knew. David Chance already knew from the Ruffins because when I was in Virginia, his manager Chris, I knew me and his manager knew each other.
Okay.
And I met him. He was like, "You're right, we did meet at." I was like, "Yeah, we met. That's when you and I first met." And Sunshine Anderson was there. I didn't know that was her at first.
Oh man, you don't be knowing nobody.
You
just be like, I'm here.
I'm just here, right? So when she gets on the floor to perform, that's the first time she performed. Heard it up, and I was like, "What? Wait, Sunshine Anderson?" Because as soon as she started, I was like, "I know that jam, boy. That's Sunshine Anderson." And it was her performing right then. I was like, "Yo."
Sometimes you get that one. That one open up the doors for so many other things.
Yes, sir.
It does.
Yes, sir. One. That's what I tell people. You just need. You're gonna get 1,000 no's.
Yes.
1,000 no's, but that one yes can change your life.
And how do you receive the no's? How do you
exactly?
How do you deal with the no's? Do you let it get you down? Because all it done for me is like, okay, I'm gonna figure it out.
That's right.
I'm not mad you told me no. I'm not mad, y'all didn't want me. It has nothing to do with that. All right, we go figure it out another way. But make no mistake about it, there is this part in the lower left-hand corner of my soul that's like, I appreciate y'all for that fire. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Because I know y'all watched the movie.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to look in the camera and say that. I know y'all watched the movie, and I appreciate the motivation. I'm not even being funny, but I said what I said. I appreciate it all. I do. I really did look in the camera and say that, too.
Yeah, for sure.
I did.
That's right. I mean, because when you talked about being a hustler in the beginning, and you was like, I'm going to figure it out. A lot of people don't have that mentality. So when they get that no, they devastated and they crushed.
I'm like, how can I get better?
No.
How can I get better?
But see, I think growing up in a city like Detroit is a city that helps you to develop that mindset.
Yeah.
I was born in Baltimore. And I grew up in Baltimore, and I left when I was 5. But I went back every year. I went back to Baltimore to visit my dad. So I was there, at least 3 months out of the year with my cousins, going around Baltimore doing Baltimore stuff.
Yeah.
And then when I left, now I go back, and I go back to where we grew up. I mean, it's literally right where they shot The Wire. Like, yo, this is where I was born, and I told my mom, I was like, yo, thank you for taking me out of here. Because I'm probably sure that I would have been dead or crazy or in the streets or something. Because it was, so I went to go visit my grandparents one night. I just popped up in Baltimore one night, and I went, because I knew, of course, exactly where they lived. My grandparents lived in the same place, had the same phone number forever.
Wow.
Right?
That's
410-947-2347. Y'all know it. I mean, ain't nobody there, but because both my grandparents passed. But I knew that number by heart. So I just showed up one day. My uncle was like, yo, what you doing here? I was like, it was nighttime. I was like, yo, I'm coming to see. I'm just surprising y'all. He was like,
you don't want to be doing that.
He's like, you don't want to be doing that? I was like, what you talking about? I'm coming to see y'all. He was like, you don't know where you at? I'm like, yeah, this is, Dukeland Street. He was like, yeah. But what I realized when I was leaving, he was like, I'm leaving with you. And when we left, bro, there was dudes over in the abandoned building sitting over there, dudes over here, just peeping stuff out. They were just like watching, like, okay, cool. Dude rode him in a nice little car. We're going to find out who a dude about. He was like, I'm leaving with you. So you could be safe. So they know you with me. I was like, yo.
That's crazy. I just saw that. Like, I'm seeing it.
Yeah,
as you saying it, I'm like, yeah, this is really not the place.
It's really not the place, bro.
Let's get up.
He's like, yeah, I'm up. He said, you're gonna go back on the nice side where you came from, because I was there for my job, and I was just having like, I'm in Baltimore. I'm about to roll up on my grandparents and my dad and see what's good with them. Man, he was like, nah, you're in the wrong place at night. Don't come over here at night again. Literally is what he told me.
When I go home, usually if I'm gonna go somewhere, either I'm with somebody who I know.
That's right.
When it's time to go home, it's time to go home.
Like when the street lights come on.
And I still love my city. I still feel safe. But I know it's not the city that I left. Exactly. But I know it's still better than what it was before I left. But it still ain't the city that I'm used to.
Yeah.
Because I've been gone for so long.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So with Trapped Outside tackles issues like abuse and trauma and power and survival. Why was it important for you to explore those themes? And what conversations are you hoping audiences have after watching the film?
Well, art imitates life. And the character Dana, there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of Danas that are in the world. And we wanted to tell a story, but not just the abuse, but more of a redemption story, a comeback story. She's not a victim, she's a survivor of it. And I would want the conversations, especially amongst men, to say, hey, learn how to control your emotions. Sometimes many of us may have deep-rooted trauma that we ain't dealt with. Because you don't wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm about to go put my hands on this woman. That just doesn't happen like that. Now, just for the sake of the conversation, we know that there are women who put their hands on men. But we know overwhelmingly it's men. So we wanted to address that. And sometimes, I ain't gonna give too much of the movie away for people who ain't saw it. Sometimes enough is enough. And,
like if y'all ain't seen the movie by now, I'm gonna get y'all. Y'all, you go watch the movie because I kind of want to talk about something that happened in the movie. I kind of want to talk about something that happened.
It's on Tubi and Amazon. It's actually on YouTube as well.
Amazon, YouTube, streaming platforms. Y'all go watch it because I still want to talk about it.
Now, if you want to talk about it as you can, but we can't, And then depending on what you ask, you may get some people be like, well, let me go and watch it now.
Yeah.
So I can find out.
Yeah. I mean, because you're right. I mean, and I don't, it takes a certain type of individual to wake up and say, I'm gonna slap this woman.
Yes.
I'm gonna punch this woman. I'm gonna cause some type of domestic violence against this person who I claim that I love, that I claim is the queen to my heart, right? But y'all got to watch the movie because I'm about to talk about it. Because there was a scene in there where you said that. You were like, I choose you. I love you. I choose you.
Yeah.
You're the queen of my life. I choose you.
Yes, he did. Matthew did.
Yeah, Matthew said that.
He did.
Right? And then Matthew, sometime later, happy anniversary.
Yeah, he did.
I was like, yo. I was like, whoa, that's wild. I said happy anniversary, didn't I? I was like, dang.
I remember when the cast had first got the script.
I was about to ask you. Oh,
go ahead. Ask your question.
Go ahead and say that because that's what I was going to ask. How did the people as when they're reading the script and as they're seeing it being filmed, how do they react in the moment?
So when they read it on the page, they was like, "Oh hell no!" But it caught them, right? Because in my mind, as a writer, I'm like, "How do I get them? I got to get them in the beginning." And everybody was like, well, what the hell is this? Like, did he really just do that? And I remember being on the Zoom call and I was just like, I couldn't say
Hey.
nothing. But then I'll tell you that this one, oh man. So that scene,
Mm-hmm.
I said without trying, they're in the bathroom.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know because I seen it.
And you hear it, right?
Yeah.
So after our director, Dominique Janelle, who did a magnificent job, cut, our sound guy, he let me hear it. Let me put his headphones on. And I heard it. I couldn't listen to it all.
Wow.
That's how, like, the set was quiet.
Yeah. Oh man.
And now, I'm not going to tell the people.
We ain't gonna tell you what happened. You got to go see this. You got yeah.
But that sound, hearing it in the headphones, I couldn't get through it. He couldn't get through it. He was like, it sounds way worse. I was like, yeah. So, but see, that's something that wasn't on the page. That wasn't on the page.
Mm-hmm.
So being on the set and people hearing it, it got quiet. Yeah. It got emotional.
Because you never know what somebody else may have experienced in their own life as they were growing up. And they could have experienced something like that with their own mom or dad. Or in this situation, maybe their mom was a victim of domestic violence and they kind of remember growing up hearing the same type of or noise or being in the same type of situation themselves.
Oh, yeah. And nobody likes the character Matthew.
Matthew is...
When I tell you the vitriol that I was getting online, people doing reviews, posting them,
That's how you know you played the character very well.
And
yes,
I humbly accept it. Like because I was told, my lady told me, she said, you can't respond in the comments. You just got to read. Because I wasn't mad. I was like, I appreciate y'all watching the movie. I'm Matthew. She said, no, you can't do that. So I just started reading the comments and they was going in. I'm talking about going in to where people are like, I don't even know who you are. I'm like, thank you. Because that's the biggest compliment that you can give me as an actor, because I want to be believable and I want you to feel something. So if I do those, in my mind, if I could do those two things consistently, maybe I can be good at this thing. So people's reaction and saying they don't like Matthew the way they don't like Mr. I'm like, y'all compare Matthew to Mr.? I mean, come on.
Oh man.
It was
come
bad.
on, man. Wow. You know what? Yo, Matthew kind of could be like a modern day Mister though. He could in that movie. He could have, but because Mister kind of was a silly, like I love you. Yeah, he could have. Bro, y'all ain't see. Oh man, y'all gotta see it.
Yes,
because there's things that happen. It's like people like, yo, get off my phone. I was like, yo, he was like, I'm gonna make sure it's taken care of. Make sure you taken care of. Yo, matter of fact, get off my line. I was like,
when we had the premiere at the Look Dine-In theaters, I'm sitting towards the front, and everybody is like behind us. I'm hearing people's reaction. My father flew in from California to come to this premiere, and I hear him and my brother back there. My pops is heated. My brother like, it's just acting.
Your pop's like, man, I hate this nigga, man. What he up here doing?
Yeah, he's like, he wasn't raised like that. I said, but I knew what that character. I know who he is. I knew who he was, and even in writing him, I knew I had to go to a place very unfamiliar in my psyche. Like I had to create the backstory. I had to find myself within Matthew. And the days I came to set as talent, I was locked in, and my focus was always, let me make sure I listen to my scene partner. I give, and I give. I be in the moment, and I give this scene exactly what it needs. And I have awesome scene partners. Shout out to my man Swift and Sierra. I have some great scene partners. So, Matthew would not be Matthew had he did not have other cast members to give him what he needed to go to those places. So some of those, when he was about to leave, he went out the door, like,
You going on another trip? I was like,
but Dana gave him that energy, right? So this is the part of that dance you do with your castmates when y'all be locked in, and I've learned, acting you want to give and listen, give and listen. It made it. Oh man, that was a beautiful experience.
yeah. So sometimes when actors play roles like this, they got to decompress from the role. There's a story of Michael B. Jordan talks about that he had to go through like some type of therapy to kind of was it Michael B. Jordan? I think it was Michael B. Jordan when he was playing Killmonger because he was so engrossed into the character that he had to decompress out of it, and therapy was something that helped him. So for something like this, playing a character like Matthew, that is powerful, right? Because Matthew's working. Y'all got to see them. Sorry, it's a job, right? I guess that job exists in real life.
Yeah.
Working in cybersecurity, 15 years. I think it was 15 years, and very well-to-do, all built his own brand and company, and got staff working for him, right? And so, and being able to do, so he has power. He got the beautiful woman, right? And he got money, and so he's in charge, And so sometimes that can play into a person's psyche where they got to go, this is not naturally who I am. So how did you deal with that from a decompression perspective?
So fortunately for me, I didn't shoot every day.
Okay.
So I knew there were certain days I knew I was going to have to be Matthew. And during those days, I knew what scenes were going to be shot. So I would already wake up mentally in Matthew mode. So once we shooting the scenes and, being on the producer writer side, even though I'm done shooting, it's not like I'm leaving. But once I leave and I'm on the way home, that's when I come down and it's going to be jazz playing. Jazz, I would, I listen to jazz on the way home. When I get home, pour up something and just kind of relax and get out of it, And then, it don't take me long, by the time I leave and get home and relax. But if I have to go back the next day, I have to mentally prepare myself for that. So those 7-8 hours I may get a chance to sleep, if that, once I wake up, I got to get right back to it. But I'm blessed with the ability to be able to compartmentalize. So, and because Matthew and those who know me is the complete opposite of who I am as a human. And I think that's the part that people are surprised at, because people who know me, they know I'm so chill. I am nothing like that. But to be able to turn that switch, that ain't me, it's he.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. So everybody sees like the premieres, right? The red carpet, the streaming release, the marketing, but very few people see the sacrifices. What's something about independent filmmaking that people romanticize but don't fully understand?
Time. It takes a lot of time. Time is extremely important. That's probably, outside of budget and not going over budget, time is probably one of the most important things, because we only have a certain amount of time to shoot in a day.
Yes.
We depending on the scenes, we got to depend on weather. We depending on talent. We still got crew. How long does this setup take? Did the battery go dead? For the sound. So it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of teamwork, cohesiveness, a group of people being focused on a singular goal. It doesn't matter if you are one on the call sheet or you a background actor. It doesn't matter what role you play on cast and crew. It takes a whole collective. And I think this is the part that a lot of people, they tend to forget, especially if they've had a bit of success in the independent field. Like, if people know who you are, your face is out there, they know you in independent scene. People forget. People really forget. And egos come into play. And I think that be the thing. Like, somebody's ego can disrupt the whole energy of a set. People want to be seen. They want to be famous. And I get it. Whatever your why is, that's what your why is. But if you want this to be famous, good luck with that. I know what my why is. So I think people on the outside, they see the glitz and glamour, but they don't see how many versions of that script had to be done. It was 14. About time we got to the shooting script, it was version 14. And I had to go back and make changes every single time. We had to get it right. They don't see that. On the sequel, it's a little different because, the circumstances are different. But people on the outside, they don't see that part. They just don't see it. But I don't expect them to, because as an audience, you ain't supposed to see. You want to be entertained. But for those who are in it, who are aspiring to be in it, listen, and if you ain't patient, if you are not patient, this is not the field for you. I have the patience of Job. I am extremely patient.
The patience of Job.
It's a lot of hurry up and wait. I have no problem in waiting, because for me, it gives me more time to be prepared.
Yes.
So for the people on the outside who don't know, even the preparation, man, you were prepared for days and days and days and hours for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. They don't see that. They don't see the amount it takes. They don't see that.
Exactly.
If it's her coverage, I still have to give her the energy that she needs to get out what she needs, even though I'm still holding back because I know my coverage is coming.
That's right. Because you can't really say anything at that moment. I mean, they don't really know about how the coverage works, but
right.
Yeah.
So to put it in layman's terms, if the camera is on him and he's doing his lines, but the camera is only on him, I still have to make sure I give the energy that he needs so he can get his lines out and deliver them the way he would want to.
That's right.
And then they turn around, now it's on me.
Yep.
And you got to give, that's where the give and take and the listening comes from, but the audience doesn't see that. They just think the character may be crying 5-6 times. Everybody can't cry on the dime.
Right.
Sometimes you be like, okay, how much time we got? We need to get these shots. We go get this wide. We go get your coverage. 1, maybe 2. That's where the preparation comes into play. Them hours and hours and weeks for them 10 minutes. The people don't see that. All they see is the red carpet. Okay. Y'all think it's a game if we want to.
Yeah. I think it's a game. Shoot. So let's talk about independent filmmaking, especially as a Black independent film creator yourself. If you could change one thing about today's film industry, especially for independent Black creators, what would it be?
Ooh, if I can change something. I think in general at this space and time, as an independent filmmaker, I think it's a great space. I think a lot of opportunities, people are finding new ways to shoot. Now with the verticals becoming the thing, they're being recognized by SAG, like all of these different opportunities for people to create their own content in an amazing way. And, being able to, it can be lucrative, But if I can change anything, What would I change? That's a good one because I would probably change the pay structure as far as the streaming services of how revenue is gotten. You know, they say it's by impressions, and it's a certain amount. I think they need to raise that because these ads, it'd be like 1 of 5 ads, and it, you know, obviously people got to watch the movie, so I think that could change. I would change that, but because we have so many platforms, that's one of the greater things. So I don't know if it's something necessarily I would change. I think I would encourage.
But what would you enhance? What would
the
be
quality?
Okay.
I think the quality of, you know, the stories that are being told. Now there's a demographic and audience for everything.
Okay.
So no, you know, I'm not saying stories are bad, but as far as telling our stories, you know, I just said the other day, I'm not a monolith. We are not a monolith. We are a plethora of things. It's been this big thing with rom-coms, with African Americans. I'm like, we can do that. We can get the Love Jones, the Brown Sugars. We can do that in today's paradigm with the opportunities and the platform. So I would want to enhance that. I would want, you know, people to get more opportunities. You know, I mean, I get it. Spike Lee would put some of the same people in his movies.
That's right.
But give other people opportunities. You know, so I would definitely enhance the type of stories that we are telling.
So do you think that we're not a monolith, right? But so do you think that is what keeps us making or recycling the same types of stories, right? Because when you're watching Black films, we tend to focus on a certain type of story that we want, that is being certain narrative that's being pushed, a certain type of storytelling that is being portrayed. But we have so much more.
We do,
right? So much more. But we find ourselves back at.
And you know why that is? Because money is being made. Money is being made. So, you know, it's like the record business. Somebody will get a hit record and they'll be like, can you give me one like this one? Can you make it sound like that? It's the same thing. So I believe, and this is what we're doing, we are very conscious of the type of stories we want to tell because we see different stories can capture people's attention, and it can still be financially beneficial to everybody.
Right.
Myself and my producer partner, we are intentional about the type of stories we want to tell.
Right.
We're going to tell real stories, but I'm not going to lie. I have no desire to write the drug movie. I don't have a desire to do that because I believe I have something more in me. We have more in us creatively that we don't have to go that route. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's your lane, that's your lane, but that's not necessarily a lane that I feel like I want to go down because it's already out there. What else can we do?
Yeah, when you think about one of the most successful rom-coms, Boomerang.
Do you know how much hell they cost?
Nobody knows how much hell they actually cost. Oh my goodness!
Educate the people. Listen, 1992. Man. This was the first film with an all-black cast, and Hollywood had a fit.
Ooh.
They had, and they trashed the movie. All the critics, they had trashed the movie, but it became a cult classic.
Yes.
And if you watch that movie today, It is beautiful.
You got black affluent individuals in high powered positions
in marketing.
In marketing. No way. In fashion. No way were they gonna go for that. They like that don't exist in the real world because
That's what they said.
that is what they said. That don't exist in the real world. That's not a believable story to have a character like Eddie Murphy, or a cast member like Leela Rashawn or Eartha Kitt or Grace Jones or Robin Givens. I mean, they had an all-star cast.
Reginald Hudlin was the director.
Man.
It was.
And Eddie took a risk with that.
He did.
He took a huge risk to say, I want to make a film that showcases black people in a completely different landscape, a powerful landscape that you probably have never seen before.
But I think one of the geniuses of the genius in Eddie Murphy and what he did it at a time where he knew that he could.
Exactly. He
already had the cachet.
Yep.
He had proven he can win. So that was like, why not? What? Eddie Murphy? Okay, go ahead. And I remember this interview he did. I think was it Tonight Show, whatever the shows was, and they actually said to him, where the critic was saying why it wasn't any white people in the movie, and I'm thinking like, how many movies there are with all white people,
and nobody ever said how come ain't no black people in there,
right? So I think that was monumental, and it doesn't get talked about enough how monumental Boomerang was. It doesn't. Now, since that time, there have been other movies, with predominantly black cast. Yeah. There have been, but that was the first.
Like when I think that was like one of the first. When I think about another movie that's kind of similar to like that would be like Risky Business, not Risky Business, Strictly Business.
Yeah.
Like one of the best scenes in that movie for me was when they were like, hey, they backing out, and the Holloman brothers stepped in, and them dudes came with the suits, and they were like, and Tommy, I think it was Tommy Davidson was like, yo, I got my mans, and they were like, yo, it's the Holloman brothers right here. Yo, this is Wayman Tinsdale. They were like, yo, we about to do business. That was like, that's my boys right there. But that's how we should be.
Yeah.
That's how we should be.
And I think that's why we're so nostalgic feeling when it comes to those movies in the 90s and the early 2000s, because that's what we saw. Then we had this drop off, and then I think there's been a resurgence, in the past 10, 15 years, but it seemed like it's gotten harder, but it hasn't, because of how streaming and things have changed, right. Where people don't have to go to Hollywood necessarily to get a movie greenlit. Tyler Perry is the classic example.
That's right.
Of that and what he's been able to do and what he continues to do.
That's right. Man, so when you look back at your body of work over the years, from back then until now, what do you hope they say Harold Outley stood for as a storyteller?
He made us feel something. He made us think. We had something to talk about afterwards. I want them to enjoy it, be like, yeah. I like, yeah. You know how you be like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even know what to say, but you like it. You like, yeah. Like,
he got it.
Yeah.
He got the juice.
Yeah, you did that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And then tell somebody about it. Tell somebody to go watch Trapped Outside.
Go watch Trapped Outside. Like, y'all need to go watch Trapped Outside for sure. So last question for you, man. So you worked in poetry, stage, television, film. You've done a lot. With AI, streaming, and social media changing everything, where do you think storytelling is headed, and what advice would you give creators trying to break into this industry today?
Storytelling is wide open because people are going through new experiences every day. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a story that needs to be told. It's how do you put it together in a way that can be consumed for the public? So for somebody who's trying to get into it, one of the things I'll say is, find your tribe. Surround yourself with like-minded people who are creatives, who really love the art and who are not strictly driven by money or just to be seen, because that's what the internet does. The social media, like, I get it. It's a necessary medium. We need to have it, right? But you find your tribe. You find the ones who feel about it the same way you do, and y'all work together. Like, we have a tribe. Like, I have a tribe. Like, we know, and then you have other people that you work with, right? But then you still got your people. Like, all y'all believe in the same thing. So if one win, if I'm in a room and somebody needs somebody, like, I know somebody who do makeup. Like, I know somebody who do sound. Like, I know somebody now. Y'all need some music? Got somebody.
Got it.
I'm one of them, because somebody has said my name in the room when I wasn't there, and I got a phone call like, "Hey, can you come do this?" So I'm like, "Well, how you so and so gave us your name?" That's what I'm talking about. That's for those who trying to get into it. These are the type of people you need to surround yourself with. Again, for those who want to be famous and be seen, that's your thing. I'm not knocking that. However, I would rather do the marathon than the sprint. I tell people all the time, I'm walking up the stairs. I don't need the elevator, because my stamina is going to be better than theirs. I ain't in a rush to get there. I'm going to get there. It's already there waiting for me. I'm just walking my steps.
Yeah, what Luda say? Some people rather run down and get one cow. I'd rather walk down and get them all.
Get them all, yeah. Yeah. I'm not in a rush to do anything. I ain't in a rush I ain't gotta be seen. I ain't gotta be everywhere all the time. I want the work to show. I want people to see the work and be like, "Oh, that's why we don't see you." Yep. The sequel to Trapped Outside is coming. Just know that.
It's coming.
Know. Oh, it's coming.
Man, this has been a great interview, brother.
Man, I appreciate you having me, man.
Man, for sure, brother. I got one last question.
Okay.
But it's for Matthew.
Okay.
Where the money at, man? Where that, bro? Where that, man? Where that?
Here's
I'm saying, where the money at?
In the sequel to Trapped Outside, that question, along with many others, will be answered.
Facts. Can't wait.
We shoot the end of August.
Okay.
And we shoot in October as well. So that question will be, because that's a question that always gets asked.
Everybody want to know that question.
I want y'all to know
where the money at.
I want y'all to know, because people are asking where the money at, who get the money
exactly,
is Dana dead? Like, all these questions people are asking.
No, my question is you dead?
There are many questions that people are
giving
asking.
Stuff away, bro. Because
listen, I don't know what to tell y'all.
Hey, we gonna find out. That's what
we definitely go find out.
That's what I'm gonna say.
So, once we
gonna find out.
Once we get to close, we get the pre-pro and start the shooting again. Y'all gonna have to go back and watch it again.
Cause there's probably some stuff we missed in there that we.
Oh, it's definitely some stuff you missed.
Oh man.
But it's gonna be questions gonna be answered. Yeah. That I can tell you.
Yeah. But man, it's been a pleasure, brother, for sure.
I appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir, man. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. I got my man Harold Outley.
Yes.
Man, make sure y'all go watch Trapped Outside and go check out everything else too that he's done, right?
And please follow me on Instagram.
Yeah, for sure.
Harold, HAROLD. My last name is Outley, OUTLEY, on all of the platforms, all of the Instagrams and the Facebooks and the TikToks. Follow me.
That's right. Make sure you would definitely watch Trapped Outside for sure.
Do that ASAP.
ASAP. But man, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you very much for tuning in to an episode of the Indie Unplugged here with your man B. Vaughan. And once again, make sure you follow us. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you just be a part of the movement, the community, and look forward to more amazing interviews because we got some really dope ones coming up too as well. So once again, we out, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.